Center. They felt like the Performance Center was really cramped and that they couldn't move around and kind of get on track. Some WWE superstars that we see in the background, or we see on Total Divas, or we see on, Chronicle or Day of, or on 24 on the WWE network, where they're just kind of hanging out. They're talking to Miz, they're talking, to they go off by themselves and they really go over their match. They think about what they want to do, what the story is that they want to tell. They may talk to the person they're going out there. They may talk to the referee. If they don't have a good idea about what needs to be told, then they're talking to their agent or the producer of the segment. They're trying to figure out in the Performance Center to find places where they could hide, for lack of a better word, where they could sit down in a corner and get into their character, to get into their team partner or who they're going against, or to grab an agent or a producer or whoever and get some guidance. And I think it's showing. Granted, you know, listening it in the WWE wrestlers and how they are performing. I think it has just been magnificent on what we have been seeing. Now, I found this interesting. I wrote an article. Probably should do a podcast on it. But I wrote an article. A lot of you know that I write for sportsobsessive.com. I write a lot of wrestling articles, but I also write college football and NFL football, and we'll be picking up some college basketball once the season starts. But I write a lot of wrestling articles and analysis. And one of the topics that I chose, since AEW's first year anniversary is coming up, was people that I saw in the next 3 months to 4 months coming to AEW that were real possibilities, not pie in the sky, not dreams, that were real personalities and chances that could come to AEW based on either friendships they had, ties they had, maybe their past or something like that. And then I picked two dark horses that this summer could possibly come to AEW. And if you haven't read that article, go read that article. Like I said, maybe I'll turn it into a podcast, especially the week of AEW's first. By that, it was MJF style. He asked people, of course, to send in, all of their comments and questions, and that he would pick 5 because he's typical MJF, and of course, he doesn't have time for us, minions. He answered that question. The answer was Adam Cole. Adam Cole of WWE NXT. And I thought that was really interesting. And I wanted to cut and paste that Twitter into my article. MJF deleted it. Twitter response, MJF actually deleted. So I found that quite amusing and interesting. But I also found it quite interesting and amusing to me that earlier I his contract is running out in June 2021. There are some people that said that in 2019 he signed an extension. I can't find that anywhere. Any people know in 2019, that's when AEW was created. His girlfriend, Britt Baker, took apart or took place in Double or Nothing in May of 2019, and then was the first big female superstar signed to AEW. I don't know that he would have signed a contract in 2019. I think he's very smart, and I think he would have wanted to wait and see how this new company is going to do. Where are they going to be stationed? Where am I going to be stationed? Am I going to be on the main roster? Am I not? How's our relationship going to be going? All that. And that seems to be what everybody is basing him giving AEW a chance on. Well, not to ruin the article, but I guess I am. There's so much more to Adam Cole than just Britt Baker. Number one, we all know WWE is never going to make Adam Cole the face of WWE. No matter how much he tries, no matter how much he gives, and no matter how many 4, 5, 6, 10 star matches he has for NXT, Vince McMahon thinks he's too short. He is too little to carry the company. So I see him never achieving his dreams. But also, you have to realize that Adam Cole is a member of the Bullet Club. He wanted to take on someone that he trusted, and they put him up against fellow Bullet Club member Adam Cole. Of the Young Bucks and of Kenny Omega and others in the Bullet Club. So he also attends AEW after parties or special events. You don't see him. They don't film him. He's backstage sometimes, but a lot of times he's actually in the crowd. Now, of course, we all saw Clash of Champions, or at least heard about it. We heard that during the Street Profits, Angel Garza rare for a wrestler to say that. It usually means that they are seriously hurt. Of course, the match had to be reworked and it was cut short. Angel Garza gave an update and it was translated, but he gave a video. But because he did not push it, he threw up the X, he told him he couldn't go, he kept it to a small tear instead of pushing himself and just totally blowing it apart, which was a good move on his part. So look for Angel Garza back, hopefully here fairly soon. I also thought this was an interesting question. Question was put to Kofi Kingston's answer is we get asked this all the time, and I always say no one, that we are a perfect trio, that we don't need anyone else to belong in our group, which I've always found What I want to know is, do you think introverted, shy Sasha Banks would fit in with the New Day? Now, I know a lot of you are saying, Sam, Sasha Banks is not introverted. We talk a little more, and she pushes Sasha to open up. It's only truly with people that she is comfortable with that Sasha, you see her open up, be more extroverted, and do crazy things. That's the reason why in Ride Along, you see her with some of her friends, and you can tell she's comfortable. She kind of forgets about the game. And get them to be a little bit more focused and serious about wrestling, which we all know that I want to. The New York Post did an article on Kyle O'Reilly, a member of the Undisputed Finn off throughout the pandemic. He was gone for several months at one time, and people were kind of worried. I saw a lot of people writing in to diabetes. He has had that, but he has had an elevated risk due to the pandemic and different kinds of conditions. Her promo against Bailey, and one person particularly had a little bit of a problem with it, and was a fan actually posted side by side Sonya Deville's promo against Mandy Rose that happened earlier this summer and Sasha Banks' promo against Bailey that just happened last week. And they are very, very similar. And if you watch them, even at certain points, they hit almost the same tone. It is almost like maybe the notes. With the SmackDown ratings from last night, um, if you go to the previous episode in this podcast, it is the Raves and Rants review of SmackDown. SmackDown. And 70,000 viewers. I don't necessarily think that's bad with sports coming back, with us having the NBA, with baseball. Football is coming back. Always on Friday nights, you have to deal with high school football and people having to DVR it and get to it later. So these are the overnight ratings. Obviously, and getting a little bit more edgier storylines, especially with Sasha and Bailey happening, Roman coming back. They've really been getting after it. But that is the news and updates for October 3rd, 2020. And we are going to be talking next about NXT TakeOver 31, what we think of those, am going to make sure